Yes, people, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the show. Early morning settings. You know what time it is. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. International break is over. No more Rice versus Caicedo. No more Lampard slander. No more Messi isn't a good 1v1 dribbler. None of those BS narratives. Back to football today. And Chelsea Football Club kicked it off. 3 points. Clean sheet away to Nottingham Forest. Could have put the dagger into Ange Postecoglou's tenure at Forest, doing what we do, beating him. I think that's 5 wins on the trot versus Ange. And yeah, this one was tough. It's always tough coming out of international break. Um, Injuries, fitness concerns. Although this time we had a lot of folks that decided or had to not decided, but were allowed to sort of stay back at in London and stay back in Cobham. Folks like Ja Pedro, folks like Caicedo. But then we did have some folks that went away. Enzo went away, had some knee issues, wasn't on the bench today. So folks had to step up today. Some folks did, some folks didn't. There were some changes made, turned the game on its head, and we moved. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into it. So lineup came out today. Sanchez in goal. Right back was Reece James. Center backs were Trev and Josh Achapong. Left back was Cucurella. Midfield was a midfield three of Lavia, Santos, and Gusto. Left wing was Garnacho. Up top, João Pedro, and then right wing Pedro Neto. So mixed match lineup. Had some folks that passed some late fitness tests, like Pedro Neto. I know he was a doubt coming into it or a concern. João Pedro looked to sort of get over his knock that he was sort of carrying. Caicedo not fit enough to start, was on the bench, came on in the second half. Who else? We know Palmer is out. We know the usual folks are out. Tosin not fit enough, came off the bench in the second half, but it was a slow start. And like I said, you can always sort of one thing you can always count on in this league is that the early kickoff, the 12:30 kickoff there, 7:30 Eastern time. You could always count for slow starts, and we started slow in this one. Forced first 20 minutes, the better side. They had some opportunities that fell to them, mostly because once again we were giving out gifts. Some errant passes. Lavia sloppy all game. Ball went right underneath his foot, didn't control it. Right to a Forest player, I think on Yewu or whatever his name is, and they just didn't capitalize on their chances. But you know what? When you when you play good teams, and we are a good team, despite the injuries, despite the inconsistent form, when you play good teams and you have the opportunity to put them away, especially when you have the opportunity for an early goal, you have to take advantage of it. Forest didn't take advantage of it. They let us sort of get into the game and settle. We sort of did that in the second half of the first half, the last 20 to 25 minutes of that first half. We didn't register a shot on target in that first 20 minutes. A lot of sideways passing. One of my biggest frustrations with this system, and not only this system, but modern football in general, when players have space in front of them, they take the safe route nowadays. I think they're told to not lose possession, right? You can't score, you can't get scored on if you have the ball, right? Offense is the best sort of defense. But we were lethargic. We looked like a team that was playing with a lineup of players that hadn't had much time out on the pitch together, which is true. Which is true. So I can't fault them for that. Um, Even though I hate seeing Gusto in midfield, I understand it given the options that were available to him. And like I said before, you never know coming out of the international break in terms of fitness levels. Folks have long flights, right? We know even folks like Esteval was came down with a little bit of the flu or something like that when he was away with Brazil. So I expected us to come out slow. We did come out slow. It's just a matter of managing the moments and managing the crowd in the game, not letting Forest, who are in the fans who are desperately looking for something to cheer for, not letting them get into it. But we did a good opportunity. We did a good chance. We did a good job of sort of just controlling it, not giving up really, really high quality chances in that first 20 minutes. And then the movement started to come. João Pedro started to drop deep, started to link up play. Neto was sending in some good crosses. There was one at the back post to Garnacho, where Garnacho, who had a horrible game, sort of just stood there, and he was, Neto was sort of giving him the death stare and things like that. So yeah, we settle into it. Most of the attack was coming down that right hand side. Reece James was providing some good width and some providing some good support to Neto on that side. Santos had a lovely opportunity to sort of score. Neto with with a nice little chipped caress ball over the top to João Pedro. João Pedro cushions it down with his head to Santos. Santos is leaning back a little. No, that was a different one. That was the one where Santos hit it off the half volley. There was another one where this time it was Neto again who chipped it over the top. I think it was intended to go to Gusto, but Gusto left it smartly so, because he might have been a shot for offside, but it falls to Santos, and Santos cushions it with his left foot and just outside the post. It's got to be scoring there. If that's Enzo, maybe that's a goal, and we're up 1-0 at that point against the run of play. But the opportunity started coming. But you could tell Maresca wasn't happy with the first half, because 3 subs came on at halftime. Right, we had who came on? Gittins came on for Garnacho, who I said again was horrible. Gittins didn't do too much when he came on; just didn't have too much of the ball. Caicedo came on for Lavia, and then Mark Guéhi, who I thought was very good today, came on for Santos. Yeah, Santos and Lavia both went off. So it was changes that we needed to sort of bring a little bit of energy and a little bit of life into the attack, which it did. Putting a striker up top in Guéhi, who again was good, very good today. Very good at just occupying, being a nuisance, chasing stuff down, doing all the things that we expect him to do. Had a couple opportunities, had a 1v1 in the second half that got a shot off, but it went wide. Had a header that I thought Neto again set up that should have went in. But the changes came. It sort of changed the dynamic a little bit. It really allowed Neto to sort of get into the game. And yeah, we get the first goal, and like you said, you maybe against the run of play a little bit, but Neto on that right side, again, cutting it back. Don't know why Premier League defenders let him cut it back onto his left foot. He sends it in, and then young Josh gets his first senior goal for Chelsea. Nice header in the back of the net. Nothing else could do. It's 1-0, and you're thinking, all right, let's we got it. Let's control it. Let's try to get a second one. And we do. 2-3 minutes later, we get a free kick, probably about 6-7 yards outside the box. So good shooting distance. We've got Reece standing over it. We've got Neto standing over it, and Neto hits a shot hard and low to Sells' left. Sells gets down, gets a hand to it, but his hands aren't strong enough. Look like Kepa there, and it's 2-0. And you can hear the boo birds, you can hear the Forest fans getting on top of them, and it's just it's almost ball game at that point, because like I said before, when you have a good team and you have them on the ropes and you're taking chances, which they had some chances. Morgan Gibbs-White had some chances. Onwonyi had some chances. Even Igor Jesus, who came on, had a couple of chances. Elliot Anderson, who I thought was pretty solid today. But they had some opportunities. They didn't take advantage of it. They find themselves down 2-0. And then from there, we're just controlling the game, right? They're chasing a little bit more. They're being a little bit more proactive, right? They did start with a 3 at the back with Milinkovic, Murillo, and Morata, with Zinchenko and Nico Williams outside of them. So they had a lot of defensive structure, and they were cutting out a lot of balls. João Pedro was up there fighting for his life, because if you know about Forest, Milinkovic is a unit, Murillo's very physical and strong, and Morato's probably could have easily been sent off today in terms of just foul accumulation, but he's also a very physical center back. But Pedro was doing a very good job of holding up the play and linking it up. Had a couple opportunities to sort of get a shot off and get a goal. Didn't get it today, so we're definitely going to need him to sort of pick up his productivity and his output. But we control it, we manage it, and then in the 80th, we get another set piece. It ball gets cleared, but it's not a very good clearance. Falls to Reece James in the box. Reece hits it one time, puts his foot through it. It's 3-0 in this ball game. And like I said, games like this, when it comes out of the international break, I don't care what the stats say. I don't care what the XG says. I don't even, to be honest with you, care too much about the performance. It's all about, for me, getting the 3 points, getting out of there injury free, building a little bit of momentum. Sometimes you got to win too when you're not playing at your top, right? And these are the games where coming off of the big win and the momentum versus Liverpool, you're thinking to yourself, all right, let's not have a letdown. Let's get into our groove, right? We got Ajax coming up Wednesday and then Sunderland on the weekend. Let's start to put some wins together. Let's start to build some confidence in the team. Let's start to build a cohesive 11 as much as we can, given the injury concerns and things like that. But yeah, we got through it a little bit, but the quality in the end showed, and the form showed. Right, Forest. I think I'm looking at the table now. Forest is sitting in 17th. Right, they've got -10, worst in the league in terms of goal difference. 5 goals for. I mean, their form table the last five is just absolutely horrible. 4 losses and a draw. So that probably, like I said before, puts the dagger in Ange. But overall, just I thought a deserved victory. I thought second half we were the much better side. I thought the latter parts of the first half we were the better side. We were asking more questions. And even though we conceded a little bit of the possession, I thought we we were more direct at times and better suited to sort of um, take the game with a front foot kind of approach. But yeah, overall good game. On down part is, I think, what, fifth game in a row or sixth game in a row, something like that. We get another red card. Malagusto gets 2 yellows. Stupid second yellow. Had a stupid first yellow, to be honest with you. Kind of kicked out at a player, so he gets sent off. So he'll miss Sunderland on the weekend because it wasn't a violent events, straight red card. So that means we'll probably see Gusto midweek versus Ajax, and then maybe Reese rested a little bit, which is fine with me. We've still got to manage Reese's minutes. He did miss the international break with that gash on his leg, but yeah, there's a lot of positives to take away from this game. Folks can say, they can criticize Maresca for the lineup and things like that, but again, he made the changes that we needed at halftime. He was proactive with those changes. The changes changed the game. I know that sounds cliche, but yeah, man, 3 points. I think Reece James ended up getting man of the match, but I'd probably give it to Neto. I mean, a goal and assist. He was our best attacker. Like I said, Ja Pedro was solid in his link up play and things like that. Gui was solid. Garnacho was awful. Gittins was very quiet. Played 45 minutes. Don't think he did too much. Caicedo was calm when he came on. Um, Josh was fantastic. He had a couple times where he lost the ball when he tried to make those adventurous runs going forward, but he was solid. Trev, after that first like 10 minutes where he was giving the ball away with his passing, was okay, was solid. I thought they held up pretty well against the physical front line of Forest. Fullbacks were fantastic. Cucurella solid. Reece James fantastic again. So yeah, good look, good win, 3 points. Like I said, you get it early. The rest of the day is gravy. I said my man of the match. Let me know, in the comments what your thoughts are. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, turn those notifications on. We're back in full swing. We'll try to maybe do an IX preview coming up midweek, and then just take it from there. So look, big up to Chelsea as always. Appreciate everybody checking out.